So the background, we're going to use bevel, and we'll bevel this out so it's like a nice rolled background, like a actual photographic background. I want to do a turntable so we can have a nice video turntable for our robots. And I would also like to add ambient occlusion. I love ambient occlusion. It's just more shadows and everything. It just makes everything look that much more real. So on the background, let's hit tab and let's go to edge up here. So that allows you to select the edge. So then we have these tools on the side. And again, we're in edit mode. So you press tab to go back and forth between edit mode and object mode. And we want bevel. So if you tap bevel and you see this little yellow handle, so we're going to pull on that. And the background is going to bevel out nicely. Once you let go of your left mouse button, you'll see this option comes up. So go down here, and we want to change the segments, 2 segments, and so on. So that's probably all we need, probably around 6 segments. We'll go 7, we'll get crazy. There's some other things you can do, but for now, this should be fine for a nice curve. But there is some other options that you can do here to kind of adjust that, what we just did. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, so we can exit out of edit mode by hitting tab. Okay, and if you look closely, or at least on mine, I can see the lines in this. Like I can see the differences in the bevel. So I'm going to right click on it and hit shade smooth, and those should go away. All right, I think I might want to make this white. I'm gonna make it white for now. So down here, and you can just, again, you can pull this up and down. So go over to the left and bring up this window. So hopefully it'll be the very leftmost button here, the editor type. So then you tap that and then just go to shader editor. So the shader editor uses nodes. Nodes are these little things which are, they can be very confusing. For example, this is the material output. So this is the actual material on the sculpt. And then you have all these links before it that kind of tell it what to do, tell it what to look like, what kind of textures to have. Right now we only have one node connected to it. It's connected to the surface, which shows the base color, and it shows everything that we saw over in the material properties. So if I'm clicked on the background, here you can see it in orange. And also, by the way, there's another thing I wanted to show. I know I keep jumping around, but that's just how my brain works. On the left-hand side, you notice how I don't have all of this extra stuff. I just have a clean frame, except for the gizmo. That's because on this side, I have this selected. If I turn that off, that all goes away. So it's the same thing over here. If I turn that on, you see the lights and stuff, but you can keep that off. I think this might actually be the gizmo, so you can turn that off as well. And also, if you forget to change your materials, they're up here as well. Wireframe, material, solid, material preview, and rendered preview. Okay, so if we tap on this orange, here's the nodes that we have. If you don't see them, then go to view. Like, for example, sometimes they'll be out of frame. So just go to view and hit frame all, and they'll come into frame. So you can come here and adjust. And if you look over to the right, it's the same system. So it's white here, and it's white here, and everything is sliding back and forth. Okay, so that's how you would do the backdrop, but I don't know if I actually want a backdrop. I think for now, I'm going to hide it. Maybe we'll do some fun stuff in Blender Kit. I'm going to move my camera back over so he's in the middle. do want him on something. So let's do I'm going to do Shift A, Mesh, and I'm going to do a cube. But I want it to be a rounded cube. So to do a rounded cube, I'm going to move it up here. I can make this a little bit bigger. So to do a rounded cube, we need to set the bevels on all of these edges. So I'm going to go to hit Tab to go to Edit Mode. And we're already on bevel, and you notice that the whole thing is selected, so all the edges are selected. So we can just pull this, and it's actually going to soften it up. And now we can increase the segments again. Okay, that's pretty good. And once you click off of it, it kind of goes away, and then it's gone forever. So you kind of have to make those movements, do the segments and stuff when that little thing is there. All right, so I'm going to hit Tab again to get out of edit mode. I'm going to right click and do shade smooth to get it nice and smooth. And I'm going to squash it. Actually, I don't really like the way it looks squashed. There's so many different ways to do a lot of these things. Like there's a loop cut. You can add a loop cut in there like this. And what that does is it makes an extra edge along the middle. You know what? I might not even need it. Control Z, get rid of that edge cut, and let's try and just select. Let me go to this. So now I've selected all of these edges, but I think I want all the vertices. So if I want to select all the vertices, you notice it doesn't select all of them in the back. What you need to do is hit Alt-Z, and then everything becomes clear, and then you can select all of them. So now I can move them down, and the box still remains pretty much the same. Okay, I think that's better. So I'm going to tab and get out of that mode. And I had a hard time remembering all those types of things in the beginning. Even if you have a cube, if you have whatever, it's worth it to go into edit mode, hit tab. It's worth it to go into edit mode and start playing around with the vertices, the edges, and the planes. Okay, so I'll go back into object mode, and I'm just going to move this underneath our little fella here. And I want it to be exactly in world center. So right here is the cursor. The cursor is at world center. So if I move this box out of the way, you can see the cursor. You can set that to different places. And the reason why it's useful, for example, if I want to place this directly in the center, I can right click on it. And then I can snap selection to cursor. So it snaps the box to the cursor. Oh, that was weird. Oh, you know what happened? So I shrunk the box, but the center point still remains the center point. So I'm going to right click on it. Set origin, and then origin to geometry. So now when I right click and I snap selection to cursor, now the middle of the new box is going to be at the cursor. So yeah, things can get a little tricky like that, but once you work with, it just takes a while to get used to. I'm going to hit 3 to get the side view. I'll hit X here to kind of spin the opposite way. I want to make sure this is right at the bottom of his little feet. Okay. So if you wanted to add just a background in, you could add a plane. I'm not sure if we added just a plane. We have BG wall. So we can use that as our backdrop if we wanted a different color. That might be useful. Might change this to a point light and try to get a nice it's not good when the orange part goes into the model. So I'm going to move the background back a bit and then move this back a little bit. But I might bump this up to, let's say we do 300 and just get that nice bounce off the back wall. It's kind of interesting. I kind of want to do it dark. I kind of want to do it dark though. Maybe I should just make one box. Squish it anyway. All that work, and then you wind up you wind up changing it. That's really how the story goes with Blender though, I'll be honest with you. Doesn't matter how much time you spend on something, it usually will wind up you'll wind up changing it. That's not a bad thing though. Slide this over. This box, what do we want to do with this box? I'm going to move it back. I want to move this whole little guy, so let's right click on Robot B, select Objects. Let's move this little rascal down. Okay. Let's make something else. Something a little interesting out of this box. I would add another one, but that might be too many. Too many robots. I do have another robot though that I made. I want to put this cube under him. I want to take this blue and make like an X and put it under him so they're both sort of floating. And then we're going to do a turntable. So I'm going to make this box a bit smaller. A bit flatter. I'm going to do Control D. Enter. And then I'm just going to rotate it. I'm going to hit Control and then rotate it 90 degrees. Okay, and these two I'm going to actually, do I want to join them? Yeah, I'm going to join them. Control J. And I'm going to rename it X spin. So X spin is going to go inside of Robot B. Our little cube here, I'm going to resize it. I'm going to put it back to world center, snap selection to cursor. And then I'm going to line it up with his little feet again. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we need to move this across. Get out of edit mode. We need to move this to the bottom of his feet. So when I select Robot A, or Robot B, excuse me, I select Robot B, and the pivot point, if I hit 1, pivot point is, oh, there we go. See, the pivot point is at the bottom. So most of these looks like the pivot point is at the bottom middle. So that's actually perfect. Now with this, the pivot point, which is the middle of the, let me press 3 so you can see this a little bit better. So I'm just going into side view like this, but you can see the pivot point is in the middle. So you can go into edit mode, hit A, so that selects all the vertices of this piece. So I selected A, and then I'm just going to move this up. See that orange dot? Or I'm going to move it down. Let me zoom in. That orange dot is the pivot point. Okay, so I'm going to move it there so the pivot point is right at the top. And now I'm going to press tab again to get out of edit mode. And then I'll press anything on here because the pivot point is at the bottom. So snap cursor to selected. So that brings this cursor right here. And now I can tap on this, right click, snap, selection to cursor. So now that's right on top. But yeah, there's so many like weird kind of wonky things with Blender. It's a bit hard to wrap your mind around a lot of them, if I'm being honest. So I'm going to select all the objects in robot B, and I think I want to just move them up. Okay. Another cool thing I want to do is, so there's lights attached to, I think he has blue lights. So he has blue lights and he has orange lights. So I might want to attach some lights to them as well. Okay, this camera frame is so big. Oh, let me hit 0. I wasn't in the camera frame. I forgot. Let's move this down a bit. Rotate this a little bit. It'd be kind of cool if he's like, he's rotating, but he's rotating around him. I think just him spinning is good though. I need to relax. Okay. So this is Cube Robo. I'm going to put this in Robot A. What color do we want this? Let's do some, whatchamacallit? You guys remember that candy? I think I had nuts, so I was never able to have any of it, but I do remember it. Oh, I kind of like it off to the side. It's kind of nice. I'm going to adjust this light. Okay, so let's set up some simple nodes so we can add some ambient occlusion to these robots. Okay, so we'll start with him. So right now, robot head, over here it says robot head. Down here, as long as this is in shader editor, then you should see something like this. Again, if you don't see it, just hit view and frame all. So right now, this color is connected from here, this RGB. If you were to hit X, then it goes back to being white, and you would have to adjust it from here. Oh, I love that color too. I always want to like change the colors. I can't help it. But we'll stick with the green for now. Okay, so these are our 3 nodes that we have right now. So let's add a few nodes. So as long as your pointer is in here, just hit Shift A and just start typing amb, and you'll see ambient occlusion. You can hit enter, or you can just click on it and then place this node here. Shift A and then type color ramp. Color ramp. Okay, you can hit return. We'll place this right next to it. Whoop. Just be careful you don't do that and place it so it goes in the middle of two other things. So I'll hit Control Z and I'll just replace it. There we go. Okay, so take this color on the Ambient Occlusion tab and just drag this little dot from color to the FAC, which is factor. So just drag that there, and let's see if I can make this bigger actually. Should be making this as big as possible. And then drag this slider over, and then take the white slider and just slide that right behind it. Okay, so then we have something like this. So let's hit Shift A and type diffuse, D-I-F-F. You can hit enter. And we can just put that right underneath, maybe, right underneath ambient occlusion. Shift A, and then mix shader. Now there's two of them. We want the two things pop up. We want mix shader. So let's plug that in right here. Okay, so now what we need to do is let's select all of these. So let's just select them. So just drag over them. You can hit Shift and click on them to kind of select them. Or you can do it the smarter way, which is what I usually do, is just put this here and then just select them all. And hit Control C to copy. I usually check that. I usually go over here and just make sure that they copied. Because I go back and forth from a Mac and sometimes I hit the wrong copy thing and then it gets annoying. Okay, so let's take Mix Shader and drag it in between these two, in between Principled BSDF and Material Output. So we'll just take this one and just drag it right there. So you'll notice he got a little darker. That's fine. So we'll take the color and we'll plug that into the factor. Okay, and now you can see these weird, it got weird. It gets very weird. The shadows are weird. So let's take these sliders, and that's how we can adjust how we want the shadows to look. So it looks like I'm gonna put the white one all the way to the left, and then I'm gonna adjust this one. I don't need that much of it. Maybe like there is okay. And I think I might want the distance to be a little bit greater, so that means the distance of this like gradient. So you can just slide this. But be kind of careful because well, I guess it's not really that sensitive. Sometimes if you slide it with Blender, sometimes like 0.001, 0.01, sometimes very small changes make a big difference. So just keep that in mind. It doesn't really play that much of a role here, but something to keep note of. So we can take diffuse, and diffuse kind of gives the shadow that we're making a color. So if you drag that into this shader, so now we have the original one going into this shader, we have this color ramp ambient occlusion going into the factor, and then we have this diffuse going into the other shader. All of that's going to this surface. So you can take this and now you can add like a color for the shadows. So you can kind of see it. So I'm going to do a similar color and just make it a bit darker though. Okay, that looks good. And it might not seem like much, but it's much. It's very, very, those little details really make a big difference. I don't even think I've turned him around. No, I haven't, because I haven't even colored these things. I'm just going to add some. I'm going to go into Blender Kit, Materials. What material do I want to add? I'm going to do Edge, my favorite. It'd be kind of cool actually if it was like a plastic. Ooh, let's do this nice. plum. Wait, what did I just paint plum? Uh-oh, I might have done something wrong. I'm just going to save, and I'll just close and come back into it. What is this? All right, let's close up and see what happens. I keep seeing this waiting for client, so I think I'm going to have to restart and see if that helps. So I'll be right back. For some reason, I got the same thing the other day. I'm not sure if it's something going on the Blender kit side of it or if it's something going on my computer. I'm not certain, but I mean, it happens. All right, I'll get it restarted and I'll come back. All right, so we're back up and running. There are some aged plastics as well. Let's go back to my edge, please. Let's go back to the plum. I'll make sure I have this selected. And one more cool thing you can do with Blender Kit, materials, see, we put oak. So you can take some of these floors and you can kind of make a cool little platform. And the one thing that I do adjust, you can adjust the scale. Like let's say if you tap on the first one and then drag down, then you can adjust them all. Let's see, if you put 2, it changes, you know, the look of them. So if we put 0.5, and then they're bigger. And then of course you can rotate them. Like let's say we put 0 here, then they're rotated. All right, great. Things looking great. Let's take the background and maybe we'll make it like, nah, that looks silly. I think we'll keep it white. So before we do the turntable, let's add the ambient occlusion to this little X here, his little platform. So we should be able to just do Control V. Oh no. Oh, I restarted, didn't I? So we'll start from scratch. Shift A, Ambient, Shift A, Color Ramp. We'll place those next to each other. We can connect color to factor, and then bring this over and this over. Shift A, Mix Shader, and then Shift A and Diffuse. Okay, we'll place these underneath. So I'll select these in case we need to use them again. Control C. So Mix Shader goes in between these two. Color goes into the factor. So color factor, color factor. And now we can just adjust how it looks. Okay. Looks good. I'm going to adjust the distance a little bit more. That looks good. I'm going to bring this one into the shader and just adjust the color a little bit. Make it a little more blue. Perfect. And I think you can actually do it with these as well. Even though these have a lot going on, as long as you have space in between here, you can do it. I'm not sure if they have any. But for example, let's do Control V. You can bring this over. It gets darker. Plug the color into the factor. And then you can adjust. Looks like it's mostly underneath. We don't need that much. Maybe the distance a little bit more. And then I'll control the diffuse. Maybe we'll go with red. We'll darken it a little bit. Okay. We can do the same with the yellow as well. Control V. Mix shader. Color into the factor. Okay, and then I'm going to plug in this diffuse to the shader. We'll make this kind of yellow. We'll make it a bit darker. Maybe we'll make it a little more orangey. Okay, and this, the wood, it gets really crazy with all these things, but I don't, oh, there is some ambient occlusion there. So it's up to you if you want to add some more, but honestly, I think it's fine. I don't think it needs any. Slow and press 0 and go back to the camera view. All right. Okay, so now I'm going to pull this down a little bit. So now we can work on our turntable. Okay, so to make a turntable, first we need an empty. An empty is like a shape, but there's nothing attached to it. There's no edges or faces, so it's just like an empty shape. And we're going to use that. You can connect different parts of your mesh to the empty, and then you can move the empty around instead of the object, or you can spin it instead of the object. So when we have a lot of pieces, a lot of parts like this, we can just make an empty box, connect everything to that empty box, and then just spin that empty box, and the whole thing will spin. So that's pretty much what it is in a nutshell. So I'm going to go ahead and let's take robot A and let's expand this. I'm just going to tap on it. Maybe the empty will go in here. We'll see. So I'm going to hit Shift A and go down to empty, and we're going to do a cube. And the one thing that I did not, that I forgot to do is I set the pointer or the cursor here, because I was when I put the little X underneath him. So that's where the empty is going to go. The empty is going to go where the cursor is. So let's just go ahead and change it to here. So I'm going to tap on him, right click, and then snap cursor to selected. So you snap that, the cursor goes back to his pivot. So now I can take this cube, this empty, so just select the empty, right click, snap, selection to cursor. Then it goes over to where the cursor is. So now we can move this up. We can hit S to scale. We can just scale it bigger, like so. I'm going to hit 1 just to give me a better view. And I'm just going to use these and just kind of stretch it out. It's a little bit easier, like so. So now we have, whoops. So now we have our empty around our main robot. I'm going to change the name to 0 spinner. I put 0 so it goes on top. I haven't figured out how to make this not be alphabetical, so I just put a 0 so we know that this goes on top. Okay, I'm going to close this up. Okay, so now we have all of our pieces here. And we have, do we have the cube as well? Good, we have the cube. I'm going to rename it wood cube. So we have all of our pieces and we want them to go to O spinner. So you can tap the first one, you can hit shift and then tap all the way down here and it will select them all, and then hit control to select the spinner last. So in other words, even if you were here, you would want to select everything. Let's pretend I selected everything. You'd want to select the empty last. So I'm going to select all of these, and then I'm going to hit Control and select that, so that this is the lighter orange. The reason why you want to select the spinner last, like the empty, the reason why we're selecting that last is because whatever the last thing you select, if you hit Control P, so Control P is a shortcut for set parent. If you hit Control P, and I'm going to put Object, Keep Transform, then it's going to connect everything to, it's going to make this the parent. So whatever the last thing is you select, whatever is in orange, that's going to be the parent. So now the spinner is the parent to all of these pieces. So whatever we do to the empty is going to happen to everything because the spinner is now the parent. You can still do things to all the things underneath. You can still adjust them or whatever. But whenever you adjust the top, the empty, the spinner, everything below that, all of the children below that are going to follow that direction. So if I move it around the screen, everything's going to move around the screen that's connected to it. Okay, so that's one. So let's go to robot B. Okay, so we'll go here. We'll right click. We can snap cursor to selected. Okay, so now the cursor is, let me move this out of the way. We don't need this for now. So now the cursor is here. Shift A, empty, and we're going to use a cube again. So I'll hit 1, and then I'll move this up. So we're just going to make another cube, and just, it doesn't have to be, it's okay if it touches him, if it doesn't touch him. It's really just for visual, to make it look clean. It doesn't matter what it's in front of, behind, whether it's touching, whether if these are sticking out, that doesn't matter. It's just a placeholder. So if we connect all these things to it, it doesn't matter that they're sticking out. It's just going to spin on its own axis. So let's double click this and name it 0, empty baby box. Okay, empty baby box. So we'll select everything, Control, tap, and we want to make sure that we're on the viewport. Control P, and Object, Keep Transform. Okay, so now let's pull this up again, where we were using the shader editor. Let's go here, and let's go to Timeline. So you just want to tap this little circle here, and go to Timeline, and now we have our timeline. So here is 1 or 0. So here's 1, and it's going all the way to 250. I would say if you have a faster computer, if you have a newer computer, I think 250 is fine. If you have a slower computer, I would set this to maybe 140 or 160, just so it's a little bit less time. It'll spin faster, but just in terms of getting used to it and getting something out sooner rather than later, you can put it down to like 160. I'm going to put mine to 280, or I'm going to put mine to 300. But it doesn't matter if it's 300 or if it's 260. It doesn't matter. We're going to go from the first frame to whatever the last frame is. Okay, so the first frame, well, firstly, let's click on the baby box empty. So the first frame, we want to make a keyframe. So a keyframe is going to hold this place, so this spot. So let's go up here, and there's a little tiny arrow here to bring out this menu, and let's go to item. So what essentially is going to be spinning is this box, and it's going to be spinning on the z-axis. Right now it's at 0, but if you roll this, then you'll see that it's spinning. So let's bring it back to 0. 0 is in the front. So we want the first keyframe to be 0. So the way to do that is go to this keyframe, and you can right click and hit insert keyframe, and the shortcut is I. So I'm just going to scroll over it and hit I, and it's going to turn yellow, which means the keyframe is now set. So now let's go down to our timeline and just tap this button to go to the last frame. And here we have 0 again, but we want to tap on this and put 360. 360, it turns orange, then hit I. So now we have 2 keyframes. We have 0 and we have 360. And these are all the frames in between. So just to be on the safe side, let's go to the left. Let's hit Z, and let's just hit solid. So they're both solid now, and let's go down. Let's just hit spacebar, and it should spin. Okay, so there's a few things that are happening there. So one thing that Blender does automatically is it rotates, it makes animations. So this is a keyframe animation, and it does them on like a graph, so that it gradually, slowly starts, spins, and then slowly comes to an end. And that's just like the default. So that's just something to note. It's just a different kind of, I'm going to drag this keyframe. You can, oops, Control Z. I just want to drag this one keyframe, so I'll just tap it, and I can drag it down to 120. Then I can go here and press 0, and you can see that it spins a lot faster. But I don't know if we want to have it gradual. So if you don't want it gradual, just select both of them by just dragging. You can go over here to Graph Editor. So we've selected them, so then I'm just going to select these as well. Right click, interpolation mode, linear. I know that's annoying, but that's the way it is. So we'll tap here and we'll go back to timeline. So now it should just spin at a normal speed. So I'm going to put this to maybe 160. So now let's take the other box. We have to go to 0, so we can press here, or we can go to 1, excuse me. So we can use these buttons, or you can just drag to wherever you want to go. I always drag past it. So we're at 0, and we like 0. So as long as you're on the big empty, that's what these keyframes are going to be set as. So we go up to here, can tap I, and then we can go to the last frame, and we can type in 360. And then we can hit I. So once they're yellow, that means the keyframe is set. Okay, so now we have both of our robots spinning and spinning and spinning. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn this back on rendered. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good. One thing that I was thinking about is taking, and I do get a little crazy when I'm doing these, I will admit. Oh, I'm on the wrong robot. I wanted to be on robot B. I want to take X spin, and I want to clone it actually. I'll just do Control C, Control V. Where did that bring me? Okay, I'm going to get rid of, so I'm going to take this, and I need to take, so when I did the copy and paste, it copied and pasted not only Xbin, but it also did the whole animation type thing. So I'm going to select them both. Well, I'm going to select Xbin first, Control, and then I'm going to select the other one, because I need to just get it out of there. Alt P. So I'm going to hit Alt. Oops, I think I deselected them. So I'm going to select Spin, Control, and select the new baby box. Alt P. And clear parent. And then I'm going to take this and just delete it. I'm going to hit X. So now we just have an extra spin here, which I want to bring down. Okay. So now we have this one spinning, but that's not spinning. So let's go to the baby box so I can see where the keyframes are. So I want to go to, see this little thing with the keyframe? I'll just go there. So now I'm on 160. So now I want to tap on this little guy, and I want to put here, I want to put minus 360. And I want to make sure I hit I. Almost forgot. Now I'm going to go to the beginning and hit 0. So I'll add 0 here. Whoop, and hit I. Okay, so now we have, so now that's spinning the opposite way, which is cool. And we didn't have to use an empty because I just did it right on the X. So there's that. Okay. Oh, this little thing doesn't have any color. It needs color. I'm gonna tap on that and just, I'm gonna rename it red glow. And we can easily just go down to the materials here. You can see that it's white, so I'm gonna tap here, change this to RGB, base color, RGB, and maybe we'll make it green. We'll make it green, and then I'll go down to emission. Emission is actually where it glows. I'll make this green, and then I'll raise the emission strength. Okay. And I want to change this, I think, to a light. I like to use this window just to make sure this is the only thing that I have selected, but I forget sometimes. So this is the backlight. Okay, I'm going to do base color RGB. And what color do we want to make it? Do we want to do green? Maybe we'll do, let's just do, let's do a yellowish color, a nice warm light. So we'll go down to emission. We'll do a nice warm light. I'll set this to 7. Okay. All right. So go back to 0. Okay, nice. I think I do want to make it darker, so I'm going to make it darker. I'm going to hide this for now. Where is it? BG wall, so I'm going to hide that for now. And I'm going to take the world. I'm going to bring the strength. You know what? We're going to keep it at 0. I really enjoy the black background. I like it. These lights are super bright. I want to turn some of these lights off. Let's turn all these off and just see what we want to do. There's so many lights. Like that one. Okay, I like the glow right. I think that's a nice looking light. Oh, we need that nice light on the eyes though. That is a nice one. I'm just going to lower the opacity. So glow right, we just go down to this little glow, and maybe I'll put it at like 200. Okay, so let's add some lights to where these little side things are, because they're bright, but they're not that bright. You know, like they're kind of bright, but they're not bright enough. They're not emitting enough light. Okay, so we'll start with robot A. So I'm going to hit Shift A and add an area light. Okay, so I'm just going to put it here so I know where it is. And I'm going to rotate it. This window is probably way more helpful. Sometimes I forget. Okay, so looking at this window is way more helpful. We can see what our light is doing. So now I'm just going to move it over. I'm going to turn it into a circle, probably, or a disc. Okay, I'm going to just straighten it out, make it small, and I'm going to push it back until it's really close to this little light, but not touching. Now I'm going to change the color of this light to a nice warm color, warm orange. And I think that's, well, let me change the power to, let's see what 50 does. Okay, we'll leave it at 50. 50 might be a little bright. Let's do 40. Okay, so what I want to do now is, since this is spinning, I want to parent this to this part of the eye, or ear B, excuse me. So ear B, I want to parent that light to it. So we'll go to the light over here, area. I'm just going to write ear B light. So you select that, and let's select ear B. Wait, what is that? Why is that there? What is this? Oh, you know what it was doing? I think it was just taking the median of both of those and putting the cursor in the middle. I think that's what it was doing. Okay, so I've selected the ear B last, Control P, and now it's parented there. So it should change. It'll spin with this. See how it's spinning with it? So that's exactly what we wanted. Okay, so, and actually I'm gonna undo that. I'm gonna go here and hit Control C, Control V, just to do an easy copy. And this is going to be ear A light. And then I'm going to do another one. And this is going to be rear light. Okay, so now we'll take this one and just move it over to the other side and rotate it. I'll hit 1, that'll make it a little bit easier. Oh, I need to rotate it a little bit more, it looks like. Okay. And now we'll take the rear light and we'll just move it back here. Probably easier to just go. Whenever I see the numbers and it makes sense where I should be moving it, I usually just move it there or rotate it. Okay, let's hit 3. Oh, looks like it needs to be, there we go. Sometimes I lose it, so I just have to scroll on the mouse until I get it right. Whoop, making it smaller by accident. Let's hit 1, and then I'm going to hit Y to be on the directly back view. And actually, it will make this a little smaller. It doesn't really have to be this perfect. I don't know why I'm paying this much attention to detail. Can't help it. So this one I want to be brighter. I'm going to put this at like 300 just to like switch it up. And I want it a little bit lighter too, so I'm going to back that off of it. And let's take this where it says spread. Let's put that at like 50. Okay. So now I think we should do the same thing to this little, oh, actually, before we do that, I need to make sure that all of these are connected. So ear A light and ear A. Now I'm on the viewport, I hit Control P, Object Cube Transform, select B, select ear B, Control P, boom, and then rear light, and I don't know what that part is actually called. What is this? Cylinder 2. Let's name it rear light. And this is rear light ring. Okay. Now we'll take rear light and rear light. Control P and keep transform. So now those lights are set up. I'm going to do the same thing with this little rascal. Okay, let's Shift A. I should have just done it. I should have just made other lights. That's okay. So we'll add a light. We'll add an area light. We'll move it up. We'll change this to a disk. We'll move it over. I'm going to hit Control. Spin it, and then we'll hit S to scale. Zoom in a bit. And then we'll just put it right up against this light. Okay. It looks pretty good. Maybe a little bit smidge closer. So this one, I want to make sure that this is in robot B. So I'll put it in there. Good, it's on the bottom. We'll X spin. Oh, this is the other X spin? That's the bottom one. I'm going to make a, no, we'll leave it in there. I want to rename this X spin lower so I don't forget. Okay, so this is ear A. So that's ear A light. And I guess we can go ahead and make the color blue. And let's change this to 20. Okay, multiple importance. Oh, that's good. Okay, so that's 20. So now we can do Control C, Control V. Oh, and it's still going up here. I don't know why. So this will be ear B. Okay, so let's rotate it. This is at 90, so it must be minus 90. And then we can move this over. Hit 1. Perfect, so this is ear B. Does he have one? I guess he has the same thing. Duh. So we'll just hit Control C, Control V. Rear light. Rear light. And this cylinder is, ooh, rear, oops. Let's name this rear parts. It looks like I have this connected with everything else, but that's okay. I didn't do it on the other one, I guess, but on this one it looks like it is. So rear parts. All right, so let's see if we can do the maths on this one. Probably minus 45. Nope. Oh no, we want to spin it so it would be here, would be maybe 45. I'm not that great at math. Okay, so we'll move this up, down. Let's hit 1, but I'm going to hit Y here just to flip it around. And then just place it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so let's change this to like 200. Let's change the spread to, what did we do the other one, 50? We'll do 50. Okay, rear light. Okay, so rear light and rear light. Okay, Control P and enter. Ear A, ear A. Just make sure that that's correct. Oh, I feel like I have, oh, both of them. Wait, did I do the wrong one? Oh, ear B. Ear A, ear B. Ear A. Why is that ear A? This should be ear A. Oh, you know what? Maybe they're both the same. That's dumb of me. I think both of these could be ear B. Control parent, Control P, object, cube, transform, and hopefully they move where they're supposed to move. Looks like everything is moving the way it's supposed to move. Okay, so the only thing we need to change is this rear light. We need to adjust this. Okay, base color will change to RGB. Let's change it to a blue. And then we'll go down to emission, change this to blue, and then we'll make this at 7. Noise. So we'll name this blue rear glow. Okay, so let's go back to first frame and hit 0 so we can see our little robots. Let's see what they look like when they spin. Okay, so it looks like I don't mind the speed of the little one. The speed is actually like fine. And I think I kind of like the gradual stop too. I might actually put it back. But hey, I mean, you'll see how I put it back. Again, I just want to select them all, go here to Graph Editor, and then right click, Interpolation Mode, and I'll put it to Bezier. And then I'll just go back to the timeline and see what happens. Okay, looks like everything is doing what it should be doing. I kind of want this to glow. So let's make that glow a bit. Let's go to emission. Let's go to green. Let's give this some light. There we go. Maybe he needs some light too there. Oh, but this is all of those rear parts though. Oh, whatever. Let's put an emission on them and see what happens. It's a little too bright. Yeah, it's a little too bright. Let's get rid of that. A little too much. I could go without it. Okay. So, I think I would like to brighten them up. So, let's go back to the lights. So this is a point light. So sometimes it's nice to make the lights really soft. So for example, with this light, I'm going to make the radius bigger. I'll change this to 600, so I'm doubling the power of the light, but I'm also making the radius bigger, which should make it just softer in general. Okay, and maybe we'll bring back the background, the backdrop. So maybe we'll bring back BG wall and we'll just make it a dark color. So let's go to our materials here. We didn't give it a material, so we'll hit add. And let's give it like a So we'll give it like a dark hue, and actually those lights look really cool, to be honest. I want to take this light and kind of get it off of that wall a bit. So we'll just get it off of that wall a bit. I do love a dark scene, but I just feel like it's a bit nicer if it's brighter. So I'm caving, and we're gonna keep it a little bit brighter. Okay, so we go back to 0. Looks nice. It's like kind of random, but like I don't mind that at all. That they have like these little lights. I'm cool with that. So the only other thing that I was thinking that would be kind of cool, I'm not sure if it's possible, but let's try it. So I want to right click on him and snap cursor to selected. So I'm putting the cursor here. I'm going to add another empty, and this time it's going to be a circle. Now you can't really see it. I'm going to hit S to scale the circle up. So now you can see it, but I want to rotate it. So let's see. Oh no, that didn't work. I want to there we go. I want to rotate it so 90 degrees here, like so, and then I'm going to move it up. So this is going to be, let's see, circle empty, and I want to put this in, or it already is in robot B. I wanted this to be in robot B. Oh, spin lower. Okay, that's okay. So circle empty, I was thinking of taking all of these, even the empty, and then doing circle empty last, Control P, object to transform. So now we have circle P, and if I can take the rotation and just hit I, and then go to, I think it was 160, and here do 360, and then I think it should work. There we, oh, we're missing the other one though. So there's that, but I do want this connected to it as well. So I'm going to take spin lower, and then control onto circle empty, and then Control P, and then do that. So now this should go with it, I think. Oh, but it didn't spin. It did not spin. Interesting. So X spin lower. Or is it just spinning and I'm not seeing it? Okay, let's put, I think it's spinning and I'm just not seeing it. So what if we do 360? Will they match up or will they not? What do you think? Oh, now the bottom one looks like it's moving. That's so weird. I find that so strange. Okay, what if I take, now see, that's when you start having a good time. What if I do minus 720? What happens then? I thought I did minus 720. I think I forgot to hit I. Oh, that's interesting. And let's make it a little more interesting. Let's take these spinners. Let's go to materials. And this is going to be spinners. So let's take the spinner and let's, oh, it's a, surface is a mixed shader. Hmm. Let me see if we go to shader editor here. View, frame all. Oh yeah, I wonder why it's not showing these options there. So anyway, I'm back in the shade editor down here because I don't see those options here, which is strange. Oh, here they are. Okay, they were in shader. Okay, so now we can do subsurface. And for the weight, let's do 5. And for the scale, let's do 5. Oh, that might be a bit too much. Let's do 1 and 1. So let's go to the lower one and let's set this to spinner. So now they both match. Oh, that light is coming from the, I'm going to go back to the timeline. Back here. And I just want to add another light. So I'm going to go to this little guy, snap cursor to selected, Shift A to add a light. And we'll do a point light. And hit 1. I want to put it right in between. And I'm going to raise the radius. I can't even see it. Oh, that's because it's huge. I don't want the radius to be that big. And let's put this at like 300. Oh, that kind of is what I wanted, but it looks crazy. Yeah, I just wanted it to like, let me put it to 100. Okay, so these, I think it's the subsurface that's really making it crazy. I think I did too much. Yeah, let's do this. Let's get rid of the subsurface. We get rid of the subsurface and then we just have the light, the point light. And let's just connect the point light to one of the spin. Control P and keep transform. That way it'll just stay there. Oops. Don't want to move that. I want it to move the light. Oh, I think I have to lower the radius. I'll put the radius at 0. Put this back to 300. Let's see how bright it looks. I think that looks cool. I think that looks nice, but I don't think that, I think the other one is too slow turning around. So let's take the big box. That's what I should have named it, big box. Big box, and we'll put it to 200. And so here we have the frames. We have the start and the end frame. I'm going to set this to 200. Okay. Nice. Okay, let's hit 0. Let's go back to 1. Okay. Is there anything else that we want to add? I don't know if I want this to be as shiny. I think I want this to be a little weathered. So we go to Blender Kit, and we go to, where's plastic? I want some plastic that's got some, it's been played with. You know? I like that. Oh, maybe this Nikon. Oh, did it already change? I think maybe it did change. What about the eyes? Do we like the eyes that's super glossy? I guess we do. But there's a lot of options. Okay. And then, of course, do we like it with this or without this? And without this, we can go back to world. We can adjust the color. That might be too bright. That's so hard. I have to stop myself from making it really dark. It's a real issue. I kind of like that a little bit better. I kind of want them to be a little bit more lit in the front. So I'm going to hit Shift A and add a light. I'll add a point light. I just feel like they're very dark in the front. I'm going to go to this light and set it to, let's set it to 100. And make the radius bigger. Let's see if we can see a difference. And I don't even want, I'm going to turn off multiple importance. Multiple importance is when you can see the reflection. So if I have it off, it's fine. If I turn it on, then you can see it in front. So I'm turning that off. Let's make this at like 200. I don't really see it on them. That's very strange. What if I put it to 1,000? Can I see it on you? Oh yeah, I think he did. He definitely got brighter. Multiple importance. Let's change. Maybe we want to change the temperature a little bit. I kind of like that warm feeling. I'm going to change this to, I'll tap here on the materials and just change it to spinner as well. Ooh, I need to make this. Let's change the material to be, oh, the roughness is up pretty high. Um, let's see what it looks like if it's really close. Okay, I think I like it further away, so we'll just leave it back there. Well, let's try a little darker. Okay. We'll make this one a little bit lighter. Let's just do it at 500. And this light is so bright on here. I think it's this one. Let's put 100. Let's do 200. Let's change the end frame to 220. And let's move the big one to 220. Okay, I feel like I want some, I feel like I want some, he doesn't have enough feeling for me. There's not enough texture on him. So now I want to find a texture. And it might even be white. It might be white. Ooh, this is a nice one. Ooh. How cool is that? I do honestly get excited like that. I know it's a bit funny, but I do. That looks really cool though. That's so much fun. The purple looks silly to me. I like the pink. I'm not even sure what that is, but I kind of like it. I do still wish he had some more texture, but I do like that. And now I'm second guessing the orbit, so I might just change it if I can remember what it was. Oh, it was circle empty. I think I can just exit, and then he should stay in place. Oh. Okay, so then I have to relink him to the empty. I think that's what I have to do, which is fine. So I'm going to take everything in the empty, and I'm just going to relink, and then it should be fine. There we go. Okay, and I think I want them to maybe overlap or something. I guess they can overlap, can they? Because then they won't be too much in focus. Yeah, that's the only issue. It would be the focus at that point in time. But maybe we just make him smaller. Make sure they're not hitting each other. They look like they are. All right, let's take the little one and let's make it 100. Okay, and this light actually looks really bright from behind. Oh, I got it. I didn't expect to get it in the first go. So let's do 100. Let's do 100 on both of these lights. And let's do some other little options here. So for the little one, he's kind of, let's make him floating up and down a bit. So we're on frame 1. Let's go to item up here. So this is all the location for the first frame. So I'm going to hit I to lock all of that in. I'll go to 25 and I'll just move this up just a little bit. Hit I, and then we'll go maybe here, and we'll move it down. Although I might have made a slight mistake, which happens often. I think I did make a mistake. Okay, one, we have all of these, and I actually should have. So this is what I should have done. I should have. Okay, so it's great there. So if we go back to the first frame, if I lock in this one and then I go to the last one, I should lock in the location again. That way, both the locations are the same. So now I can go to 25 and go up a little bit, go here and go down a little bit, and it'll always go to the same spot. Oh, the only problem is I forgot to set the... Okay, I, and then I'll go to about here, and then go lower, I, and there's a shortcut for that. I could also turn this on. If you turn this on, then anything that you do, if you move it, it's going to set a keyframe. But that can get really annoying sometimes, so I'm just going to leave it off for now. But let's see if we can get a sort of floaty effect. Oh, this is like spinning. Let's take the bottom one and put that one here. It's kind of interesting. It's really hard to tell what the background is doing though. And this light is actually making a big impact on the rear light. Let's see if we do... We get rid of the background again. Oh, it's really bright actually. Let's go to specular in the background materials. And if we turn that down, I guess it turns everything down. So we'll leave that on. It could be that spinner light, which is, it could be just doing way too much. Put it to 100. Oh, that's from the front light, isn't it? Almost forgot about that light. I wonder if I make location and rotation here, and then I go to 220 and I set this to 720. I don't even, will he just start spinning again? That looks silly. We'll just leave him. We'll leave him alone, I think. Oh, but I do like his floating though. That is one thing that I do like. So I need to take this location. Let's go to the end and just mark this. Okay, this was up, so the next one would be down. And I'm going to keep this turned on. So then I can just go down. And then I can go up. Okay, so I do like this. And maybe I just want to fire off a frame of it because I do like it. So I'm going to bump this up to, actually, where are we at here? Oh, we're at 200. Ooh. Let's put it at 100. And let's see what this looks like rendered. Oh, that's right. This little guy's going to be out of focus. Forgot about that. I don't really like the way it looks. I don't know what's missing, but I feel like something is missing. Okay, so let's change his material. I think we ran plastic. I kind of want to just go back to white. Whoa. Whoa, it made him like so much thicker. Whoa. That's something, eh? I think we're going to turn... I think I'm going to go to the camera and actually turn depth of field off. Just keep everything nice and clear. Okay, let's take this light and let's just make it white. So I'm just turning a lot of the lights and stuff down. Put this at 150. Put this at 50. What color is this thing? Oh, this. Let's make this white. We'll make it gray. I kind of like the white on white. I don't mind that. Okay. Back to my good old edge. My favorite. I mean, you just like can't go wrong with it. I can't even see what that light is doing. Now I see it. I think this light is too bright in there. I need to turn it down. Let's go back to X spin the point and let's just make it like 30. 10. Okay. I want to add a little more. See what happens if we change these to point lights. Because I kind of want the light to shine a little bit on them. Oh, you know what I have to change? In the material, in the shader editor, I have to change the color of the diffuse. Okay. The color looks so different now. And here's another cool thing that you can do. So instead of using this background, let's say we wanted to bring in a different background. Shift A, Image, Mesh Plane. Okay, let's find an image. Let's do this one. Oh, I did make a mistake. Control Z, let's do Shift A, Image, Mesh Plane. And I prefer to, so find your image and then go over here to, where are you? Shader, and go to emission. So the shader is emission here, and then open it. So that way when you add it, it's actually going to be giving off light instead of just an image that isn't emitting any light, because then it's like kind of dull. And if you have a background for characters, then you want them to you want the light to affect the characters, because that is just make it way more realistic. Okay, so now you can just move it around. Make it a bit bigger so like they kind of fit in the space. So now they're kind of in the space. So the difference now, whenever I sculpt something and it's inside of the space, let's put this in background. Usually I turn the lights off because I want to figure out what the best lights are for the scene. So, and this is actually good because it allows me to be able to see what these lights are doing as well. So for example, this light, I can't even, oh, it might be the spin light. Is that what that is? The spin light is off. Where is that blue light coming from? Let's go to the timeline. And there's a super bright blue light, but I can't figure out where it's coming from. So, oh snap. These are like really small. Should have made them a little bigger. You want to make them a little bigger and then you want to move them out. When I changed it to point light, that's what I should have done. Oh, that's these lights that's super bright. Very, very bright. Let's put this at 5. 2. Okay, that's better. The other light is also very bright. We'll put that at 2. And there was a light. Rear light. Oh, here it is. Put this at 2. Okay, these are looking okay. This one's a little bright on him. But it actually looks good though, so I might just keep it. His lights for his ears can use a little radius. Whoa, where did I just move this light to? Oh, it's because I'm not in the center frame. And I want to turn that off, otherwise I'm going to be animating everything by accident. Okay, let's pull this out. And let's put this to 10. Don't really want this to be super bright. 4, 2. I guess we'll do 2. Okay, so what I like to do in these sort of settings, now that we have that, oh, maybe I want to put one here too. I'm going crazy. Okay, so if we want this to be somewhat realistic, we need a light behind them. This one looks so spooky. So we'll take this point light, let's turn it into an area light. And let's put it behind them, facing them. Almost like I want to match this light coming in from the background. So we'll make it a disc. We'll put it right around there. Let's see if we can do like a material preview. We'll do a render setting. Still can't see it. Okay, but that's a good enough match. So we'll do that. We'll kind of match the tone of this color. So that's a little more pinkish and a little lighter. So I think it's about around there. What if we put this to 1,000? Really make it bright. Okay. And this actually might look realistic if we change the color. This one looks good. change the color. That makes them look a little bit more like they're in like a random space. And then maybe we want to do some sort of creamish color. So let's do I want to go to my camera and turn depth of field back on since we have a background now. Clear the animation data from this light. I just want to put it underneath. And just kind of match that energy. You know what? Let's give this some glow to this poor thing. Oh, it is cheap plastic though. You know what? I don't care. I want to give it an emission. I wonder if I can do it in here. If I can go to the shader editor. Shift A. I wonder if I can just put in emission. An emission shader. Or if I can just plug it in. Nope, can't plug it in there. I wonder if I can plug it into the base. Nope. So it looks like can't plug it in there. Can't plug it into any of these. I don't know how to do it. I'm going to get rid of this. So what I'm going to do is just get rid of this. I'll add a new one. I'll kind of match that color. I'll match that vibe. Go to emission. Match that color. And then I'll turn on the emission. Okay, so let's go back to the timeline. And let's render this out and see how it looks. I can probably make it a little lighter, a little brighter. Ooh, and I see this light is not working. So I'm going to X that and find out why this light isn't working, and this is why. So I'll turn that on. And I also noticed that I should, the world, turn this up a bit. And kind of match that look a little bit. Could probably even match the color a smidge. Okay, we'll see how this looks. I love that. I think that looks beautiful. I think I'll include this image so people can do it. So you guys can do it. So I really like this. I want to, so I'm going to save it. But I want to turn him. So right now, I love the way that this looks. Yeah, just like that. I like it. I don't really like it looks a bit weird that it's such a like a ball of light. Like it should be a glow, but I don't know necessarily if it should be a ball of light like that. I think that looks a bit odd. Try to hide that. That seems a little bit better to me. Smarter option would probably be to bring it a little further away. Okay, so I like this. I'm going to set this to 200. I'm going to set these export settings to 1000. What did I just do? Viewport 300. Max samples. We'll do 1000. We have that nice light looking nice and bright over there. We have some plastic. Oh, I thought that would help, but I guess not. Have some cool light going through it, I thought. But but I guess not. Santa Maria. Okay, let's go ahead and render this bad boy. And there is some more cool stuff you can do. You notice how there's not really that much of a glow? If you want to add the glow, that's in, so we go to rendering up here. We were in layout, I believe. Yeah, we were in layout. Let's go to rendering. This is what we rendered. So we need to find this little crosshair up here in the corner and drag this out. Change this to compositor. Okay, maybe if I put use nodes. Oh, use nodes. Okay, so we tap use nodes. Boom. Right, there should be an options here as well. And I'm going to make sure that I'm using GPU. So now we have the rendered. We're going to try to bring this over, and then we have the composite. So let's try to add Shift A and bloom, I think it is. No, glare. Glare. So let's add a glare. So right now we have this like weird, not cool glare. Let's add a, so there's bloom, which is super bright, and then we have fog glow, which is also quite nice. The threshold is how bright it is. Let's see if I can figure out a way to explain this. So there's like the light that's showing in the scene, and then there's going to be the fog glow. So let's say the light we have in the scene is at like a 5. The threshold is like, okay, so the light's at like a 3, 4, 5. This doesn't make sense. The lower the threshold, the brighter the effect will be. So if I lower this, it should be getting brighter and brighter. Yeah. Okay, so there's that. There's the mix, which also does stuff. Not really sure. That looks nice. I love that lighting. It feels good. I really like that lighting. Okay, although I feel like they can use another orange light coming from this side, right? I feel like they could use that. And I feel like this light should be white. Let's go to layout, back to layout. Make that a little lighter. Make this white light a little less orange, I think, right? Maybe we should just like make it green or something. You can't even really see it at all. Wait a minute, I'm confused now. Oh, I can kind of see it. What if it was green? Oh, this was the one that that's the one that I liked. I totally messed up this animation. But it does look cute. I like the green. I think I want more of an orange either on this side or this side. So that's what I'm gonna do. Let's see if we have one. We have something on top. Let's take this and we'll make it an area light. That actually looks kind of cool. I actually love that. You know what else might look cool in this light? Oh, there's so many things. I apologize. There's just so much. There's so many cool things that you can do. You can add Shift A. You can add a cube. I'm going to press S and make it really big. Whoops. I'm going to stretch it out so that like they're all inside. Everything is inside. And this might be a little more annoying for you guys because I think I have a shortcut. Although I don't know if I remember it. D? Oh yeah, D, display as. But I don't know how to set it. But anyway, this is just a demo. So you can put bounds, that way I can see through the cube. But anyway, that cube, if I add a material, and then I go to my nodes here in the shader editor, I can X this and add, is it fog? No. Volume scatter. So volume scatter. And I think this goes to volume. And then you can adjust like the density. Now you can see the lights. That's crazy. So if we put this like 0.5, .05, 0.005. It's a little bit better. It gives a little bit more like a little bit more texture to the space, I believe. I still never added that light that I wanted to add, did I? Oh, I did. I did it like on the top coming down, didn't I? I did. Is this it? Is this the one that I... Oh, that is. Okay, so we'll use this light. I feel like coming from here. I'll rotate. I think I want to like really orange. Change this to make it more of a sharper like cone of light instead of like a very wide soft light. So we'll put it at like 30. That might be too much. We put this at like 100. 30 is too much. Let's do 60. And I'm gonna make this light thin and kind of move it till it's like how I want it. All right, let's see what it looks like on the other side. That might be a little bit more realistic. Go back to 100. What do we think? Do we like it without? It just gives it like a little bit more something, you know? But maybe just not as bright. We'll do 50. So we'll do 50 and we'll render this and just see what it looks like. Robot C. So this is how I export my turntables. So once I have everything set up, you want to make sure these numbers aren't too crazy. I'm going to put this at 300. And everything else looks pretty good. For the export, I want to make sure this is at 100. So we're here in the little printer, make sure this is 100. Everything else looks good. You want to make sure you put a path for your output, for your images. So I'm going to go to, we'll do it to its own folder. Animation link. I'll make a new folder and I'll name it, let's see, robots turntable. Okay, we'll accept that. So it's going to make 220 images. And those images I'm going to bring into Final Cut Pro and just edit them together to make the turntable. So essentially it's a series of images. That's what makes the turntable. Everything looks good. Let's go ahead and render this animation. I think that's everything. Let me just make sure, do a once over, make sure everything's there that should be there. Okay, cool. I'll take a little bit of kick off that light. All right. And I'm going to start rendering and then I'm going to bed because it is after 4. It's after 4 a.m. and that's bananas. Here's how I create the turntable once I have all of my frames exported. So right now I'm in Final Cut Pro 11. So these are my frames. And I'm going to make sure that they're named from lowest all the way down to the end, which should be 220. So I'm just going to select them all. So I'm going to select them all, hit copy, or you can always right click and copy. And then I'm going to go into here and paste them. Okay, and here are all of our frames. You can see them slowly moving. So I'm just going to zoom out and just select all of these. Okay, I got all of them. And I'm going to make a new compound clip. Hit OK. This might differ depending on what kind of software you're using. So once we have it all together, it's still very long. So I'm going to hit I need to speed this up by 6,000%. So I hit R here, and right now it's at 100%. I'm going to change it to 6,000. And once it's changed to 6,000, you can see it's much, much smaller. It's only a few seconds. I'll delete this empty space. And then you can see it might be a little slow, but that's just my computer. And now we have our nice high-res turntable. And here's another one that I worked on. You can see I brought the white background back. So I'll show you the real deal exports of these now. If I could tell my younger self one thing, it'd be not to follow all the rules when it comes to art and creativity. Blah, 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 yakety smackety. It's so easy to get caught up in how things should be or have been. That kind of thinking, obsolete. My name is Dave Reed. I'm a 3D artist and content creator living in Brooklyn, New York, and I've been a 2D traditional artist all of my life and recently discovered a love for 3D sculpting and 3D animation. You might have come across some of my pretty incredible children's books, including The Dream Machine, or my social media collabs with the American Museum of Natural History. You might recognize my creative visual time lapses on both YouTube and Instagram. 3D sculpting inspires me because it allows me to bring my art to life in a whole new way. Learning the technical aspects of Nomad and Blender is kind of a natural progression and allows me to bring my creativity to the next level. Today we're learning a complete workflow from Nomad Sculpt to Blender. We're learning to take our sculpts to the next level and beyond. We're going to bridge this gap from the ground up. And today's project is going to be a robot. Who doesn't love robots? Especially cute ones. Just saying. We'll make a quick model in Nomad, which we will then export over into Blender. It'll be a complete pipeline to Blender, which will give you greater control over your sculpt and your render. You can easily follow along at home with your iPad or Android tablet for Nomad Sculpt. You'll need Blender with a Mac or PC computer. I'm excited to teach this class because we're on the frontier of using Nomad Sculpt as a starting point for Blender. The 3D landscape has changed so dramatically. I love pushing the envelope, that constant forward motion of artistic technology. By the end of this class, I hope you walk away with some new tools, new inspiration, and new ideas. All right, let's get started.